Hey, what's up Airbnb host? This is Jasper at Get Paid for Your Pet, and today I'm going to answer a question that comes up a lot. If you don't have a good experience with your guest, should you leave a bad review for your guest, or should you not leave a bad review because it hurts your business? I'm going to answer that question right now.
Get paid for your pet.
First question I get asked a lot that I want to answer is, if I have a bad experience with my guest, should I wait leaving a review until the guest has left you a review so that the guest is not going to retaliate? In other words, if I write a bad review for my guest, aren't they going to write a bad review for me as well? The Airbnb system doesn't allow for that because it's double blinded. That means that the guest cannot see your review until the guest review has been published or the review deadline has passed. So after checkout, you have 14 days to leave a review for your guests, and the guest also has 14 days to leave a review for the host. Now, if both of you leave a review, the reviews will be published. If one of you leaves a review, then nothing happens until after 14 days, and then that one review will be published. So there's no possibility of retaliation. Your guest can never leave a review based on the review that you have left for the guest. But are there any other ways in which leaving a bad review for a guest can hurt your Airbnb business? Because some hosts, they are worried that if they leave a bad review for a guest, that future guests might see that review and they might not make the booking because they don't want to get a bad review from you as well. Well, I don't think that risk is very significant, because I think that when guests book your Airbnb, they're not going to go through the trouble of finding all the profiles of your past guests and then checking out the review that you left for them. I think that guests in general are not as concerned about the reviews that they get from the host as the hosts are. Now, what about other factors that could influence your future bookings? Well, if you leave a bad review for a guest, that might decrease the chance that that guest will come back. So some people don't like to get negative feedback. And so if you leave them negative feedback, they might react negatively, they might be pissed off, and they might not come back to your place. But if you're leaving negative feedback for your guests, then the question is, do you really want to host them again anyway? Right? Well, if it's a minor issue, then maybe you do want to host them in the future, and you're worried that they'll not come back because you left them a bad review. But again, I think that chance is pretty small. But if you do have a lot of repeat guests, then this could be a larger concern. But still, I think that it's more important to always leave an honest review. So just leave the review that's most authentic, that actually accurately represents the experience that you had with your guest. Because honest reviews keep Airbnb a good platform. It's win-win for everybody if everyone's honest about their reviews, because the reviews will help future hosts to decide whether the guests are a good fit for them or not. Now, another reason why some hosts don't want to leave negative feedback for their guests is because they build a relationship with the guests and they don't want to upset them. Let's say you host a bunch of guests and they're actually really nice people, but they left your apartment a little bit messy and you're wondering, should I mention that in the review or not? Well, if you feel that they've left your apartment messy, then you should definitely mention that in the review. And yes, your guest might not like hearing that, but that's what happened. That's the way you feel. And so that's what you should write. Now, of course, you could also mention the things that you appreciate about your guest. Because if you start your review with mentioning some of the positive aspects of your experience, then the guests are not going to feel as bad reading your one point of negative feedback that you have for them as well. And they're more likely to take it in a positive way. So the conclusion of this video is you should always write an honest review for your guests. You don't have to worry. It's not going to hurt your Airbnb business. The guest can't retaliate because they won't be able to see your review before they've left theirs or before the option to leave a review has passed.
Get paid for your pet.